Ja, ich bin Abgeordnete der Linken im Deutschen Bundestag und ich bin nach Chicago gekommen, um mich an den Protesten gegen die NATO zu beteiligen, weil die NATO ein Kriegsbündnis ist.
I am a member of parliament of the political party Die Linke, and I came here to Chicago to protest against NATO because NATO is an organization of militarism.
I just wanted to go to the point of the very important unity that is being built in the anti-war movement, as well as in the struggle for social justice and against austerity, by the fact that Americans are now taking on NATO. We have always heard as Americans that the Europeans want us. They want us to protect them. This may be true that some of the elites want us, but the fact is there's been a long-standing and strong resistance to NATO and also to U.S. bases abroad on European soil, and particularly in Germany, where the most bases are. And to understand how important Germany is here, the U.S. has 6 central commands around the world, such as CENTCOM that deals with. 2 of them are actually based in Stuttgart, Germany. The European Command that covers the whole territory of Europe, all the way through the former Soviet Union, going to Alaska, and the AFRICOM, covering the whole territory of Africa. And so therefore they also have 80% of men and material going to Iraq and Afghanistan pass through Germany, through the bases there, or they are the training for major NATO trainings are in Grafenruhr. The central command for all of Europe is Ramstein.
Say that in the army, the pay is mighty fine.
Who said that?
They give you $100 and take back 99.
Who said that?
Oh Lord, I wanna go.
Oh Lord, I wanna go.
But they won't let me go.
But they won't let me go.
Ladies and gentlemen, while we are here, we are protesting against the military alliance, which is spending every year $1 trillion for preparing wars. This is 70% of the military budgets of all countries in the world. And in these minutes we are sitting here, 20,000 children died because of hunger and poverty. And we have the deepest economic crisis, which we could not solve because we have no financial backing. We need the money, which is NATO spending for war, for other purposes. This summit will decide about 3 big military developments. First, $700 billion through the next 10 years should be paid for the modernizing of the nuclear weapons of the United States. For the new aircraft, F-35, should be paid $1,500 billion for the development and the production of these new aircraft, which is a totally new secret aircraft. And for the missile defense system, which is technologically not possible, now the words from the Pentagon, should be paid $400 billion during the next 5 years. These kills day by day in every moment. And we are protesting here because we are believing that we need this money for human beings and human needs.
Die NATO ist verantwortlich für viele Kriege in der Welt, unter anderem für den schon seit 11 Jahren währenden Krieg in Afghanistan oder auch den Krieg im letzten Jahr in Libyen.
NATO is responsible for many, many wars in this world, among others the 11-year long-lasting war in Afghanistan and last year's war in Libya.
Thema auf dem NATO-Gipfel sei ja die angebliche Reduzierung der Truppen in Afghanistan. Es sollen aber 50.000 Soldatinnen und Soldaten weiterhin auf Afghanistan stationiert bleiben. Das bedeutet weiterhin Krieg und Besatzung.
One topic at the NATO summit will be the withdrawal of troops and the reduction of troops in Afghanistan. But in the truth, they will increase, or they will station 50,000 soldiers in the country over a long period of time.
Thema auf diesem Gipfel wird auch sein, das Raketenabwehrschild in Europa. Dieses Raketenabwehrschild soll sich vorgeblich gegen den Iran wenden, aber auch Russland sieht sich durch dieses Raketenabwehrschild bedroht.
Another topic at the NATO Summit will be the global missile defense. In truth, this missile defense system is not only imposed against Iran, but also is dangerous to Russia and is aiming at Russia.
Es wird deshalb zu einem weiteren Wettrüsten und Aufrüsten sowohl von Russland als auch von der NATO führen, wenn es so durchgeführt wird. Die Linke wendet sich gegen Aufrüstung und Kriege weltweit.
This is leading to a spiral of armament. The NATO will continue their armament and military spending, as well as Russia will increase their military spending. The party Die Linke is against military spending and armament worldwide.
In Deutschland fordern alle politischen Parteien zumindest den Abzug der Atomwaffen der USA aus Deutschland, um einen ersten Schritt zur Abrüstung von Atomwaffen zu machen. Die Linke fordert generell die Vernichtung aller Atomwaffen weltweit und wir fordern die NATO dazu auf, bei diesem Gipfel darüber zu diskutieren.
In Germany, all political parties are for the withdrawal of nuclear weapons from the US out of Germany. The political party Die Linke also demands the destruction of all nuclear weapons in a nuclear weapons-free world.
NATO, very clear, is a war organization which organizes all the wars, Libya, Afghanistan, and in the background, not directly in the background, also was involved in Iraq and so on. And what is important, what Inge Hoger says before, they say that they withdraw the troops, but in reality, they make now an agreement between German and Afghan government that they will have the troops there the next 10, 12 years and only will reduce some of them. And they will spend money that there will be Afghan police and military to make the occupation so as the Western states want to have it.
There was a massive protest in Germany in the early 1980s when there was an attempt to, and it was a successful attempt unfortunately, to station the Pershing missiles. There were occupations and surrounding 50 different bases. There was a petition of 4 million people signed against that because Europe has felt not just protected, the common people have felt very threatened by the presence of NATO and all these things. So just to say the level of grassroots support is that we have many, many basis things. There's going to be a demonstration at the European Command in Stuttgart tomorrow. There are constant monitoring of the flights of troops. We also have 500,000 that go through every year through Leipzig on the way to war. We have many, many struggles against the bases. We have also soldiers who have resisted, U.S. soldiers there who have been supported broadly by the German public.
I want to say something to the link between the protests here and the protests which are going on in the moment in the different European states. As you know, the situation in Greece, that in the European Union there is this so-called fiscal pact, what means that a lot of pressure is on the different governments, especially in the south of Germany, from the European Central Bank and special also from the German government. And as Rainer Braun mentioned before, we see that a lot of money is spent for military issues, and in the same time they have to cut all social standards in Greece, in Spain, in Italy, and so on. And in the moment, in this day, will start protests in Frankfurt, in Germany, in front of the European Central Bank, against this economic diktat, economic pressure to the different special South European states. And we have a movement inside Greece, Spain, Italy, and so on. And it's important that we have a link between the protests here and the protests there, and that we as Europeans are here to support the protests against NATO and the wars, and that they support the protests here. So this is two sides of the same protest.
What is very exciting about this, after two big NATO demos recently in Europe, in 2009 in Strasbourg, 30,000, and then in 2010, another 30,000 in Lisbon, that we now, for the first time historically in a long time, have a really international peace movement growing that includes the US and Europe and much of the rest of the world together. Thank you.